All right. Good day, everybody listening to me. Here we are to solve the relation. We are given a problem. I say that given that P is proportional to 1 over the square root of r and P is 3, when r is 16, find the values of r when P is 3 over 4. Now, the first thing that we need to do here, solution now, that to express P in terms of arrow, okay, in terms of arrow using the optionality of what constant, which is k, which this means that whenever you are removing this proportionality, you introduce your what, your constant, okay. This will now become equal to, and your constant will now take place of where you have your 1, okay. So here we now have P now is equal to K over the square root of R. So this is now the base formula that we want to use now, not just this, because it is after when you are introduce your constant, then we start solving, because you have to look for the constant value. That is the first step in variation. Now we are told that P is 3, so we have 3 here. K, R is 16, the square root of 16. Okay, so this will give us 3 equal to K. What is square root of 16? Will give us what? 4. That is 4 times 4 will give us 16. What you can use to divide 16 twice, okay, without a remainder. Now, what do we have here? We have 3 over 1, so you cross what? Multiply. So your K is equal to 3 times 4. So your K is equal to 12. Now we have found that K is now what? 12. Okay. Now what do? We now find the values of R when P is 3 over 4. So we now come back to this formula, which is P equal to K over the square root of R. And we are told that P is what? 3 over 2. What is K? Is 12. Here we are not giving arrow. Don't go back to use the former arrow. We are use this first arrow to find the values of what? K. They are now giving another question that said find the values of arrow when P is what? 3 over 2. So here you have to look for what? Your arrow. So it is not this arrow now. You are looking for arrow. So we now have the square root of arrow. Now we can cross multiply. Okay. We now have 3 square root of arrow is equal to 2 times 12. So now 3 square root of arrow is equal to 24. Okay. Now we want to eliminate value here. What do we now use to eliminate? We use 3 to eliminate it, so that we now have, because we are looking for what? Arrow. So everything that is along with this arrow must be what? Eliminated. So that this square root of arrow will be on its own. Okay, because this is what we are looking for to become the subject of the formula. So here we now have 3 square root of arrow divided by 3 equal to 24 divided by 3. So 3 will cancel 3. Remaining what? The square root of arrow. This will cancel this, will give us 8. Now, how do we now get arrow? Because it's still under our square roots. So what do? We'll take the square of what? Both sides. Okay. Sometimes when you are looking for a value that is square, you take square root. When you are looking for a value that is a square root, you take what? The square. So in this case, we are in a square root. So what do? To remove the square root, we take what? The square of both sides. Now, look at it. You know that this square root is what? Half, which is arrow raised to power 2. And we are asked to take what? The square roots, okay, which is raised to power 2. So these 2 will cancel 2. You are left with what? Arrow, okay? This is what we are talking about. Now, when you take the square root of this arrow, the square of the square root of arrow, we now have what? Arrow equal to the square of 8 will be what? 8 raised to power 2. So therefore, arrow is equal to 64. So this is the values of arrow. So have a nice day. So see you. Bye.